love it. Well, that was a beautiful, and thank you, Jill, for such a wonderful meditation. And yeah, it's that piece of silence. You know, we had Reverend Michelle last week, who is, everybody who stayed and enjoyed the workshop and her talk, it was really quite fabulous. We still have 5 of her books left for sale. If anybody didn't get one last week, definitely pick one up this week. But what she talked about that last week in that inner peace, in that moving through life, is that stillness, when we can come into that quiet place and listen to beautiful music or whatever it is for us. That's that remembering the truth of who we really are. And that's, today I've gone back and forth about 3 different times on what I wanted to talk about. So we'll see what falls out of my mouth today, because I have 3 talks in my head, and we'll see what happens. And so a bazillion notes. So my talk today is called Om Shanti Om, and that is regarding that one place, that peace that is within, that vibration of the world. And what I love about peace is that feeling that we get when we're there in it and we know the truth of ourselves. And Ernest Holmes, I'm just going to read you his perception on peace. If I get to the page, here we are. I'm in OP. Peace. Oh, no, that's not it either. That's praise. I was going, okay, that's good. A state of inner calm. An inner calm so complete that nothing can disturb it. The peace which comes only from the knowledge that it is all. Fathomless peace is meant by the peace of the Spirit. This is the peace in which Jesus referred to when he said, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you." The infinite is always at peace because there is nothing to disturb it. A realization of our oneness with the omnipresent brings peace. And the peace which is accompanied by a consciousness of power. A consciousness of power. That place. And that is where our power stands, in that heart space, in that middle, when we are in that, you know, the athletes, I think they call it the zone. That zone of genius, that zone of being in and directed in our life through. So I started looking at peace, and I went into chapters, so it's indigo now, right? They have some of these wonderful little Science of Mind magazines. Yes, I bought a couple. But there were 3 left people at the one in Grandview, and they've changed the format a little bit. So it's 2 months. There's 1 month. This is our month that we're in, Pieces into Peace. And the second one is Power to the People. That'll be our next month's theme. But it has so many great articles and daily intentions in it that help us remember every day who we are and what it is that we are here in spiritual community walking this path. That reminder of being in that place of being one with the one and not moving through it unconsciously, but staying conscious, being aware, uncluttering our mind, uncluttering the thoughts that we have. So I don't know, I read this thing, and it said that we have 62,000 thoughts a day. And there's another one that said we have over 120,000. There's somewhere in there that there's all these thoughts. But you know what surprised me? 80% of those thoughts are negative ones. Yeah, 80% of our thoughts show up in a negative way. That's bad. Yes, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. We do not, so it's where do we unclutter our mind? Where do we stop that that insanity almost of the, what it's credited to Einstein, but I'm not 100% sure that he said it, but, is that we keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, and that's insanity. And that's those thoughts in our head. If we keep having those negative thoughts about ourselves or about others and in that judgment, how do we shift? How do we move into that new way of being, into that new place, into that place of love and joy? That's where I want to live. Not in the, oh, I woulda, shoulda, coulda, right? The woulda, shoulda, couldas. So I was thinking about peace, and I was thinking about, let's see what I wrote in my notes. This one is, there's so many phrases about peace. We want peace of mind. We want world peace. We want inner peace. We want peace and quiet. But how do we get those things? There's all these sayings that we have about peace, but what are we consciously doing each day to arrive in that space? And this is not making anybody wrong or anybody anything other than we're on this journey together, and wherever we are in this journey is A-okay. Because each person here in this room is whole, perfect, and complete, whether you believe it or not. There is nothing outside of you that needs to change. Each person here is that individualized expression of that divine mind. And do we believe it? How much faith do we put in that teaching that we are one with that one? Well, I'm one when I'm doing the right thing. I'm one when I have my hair done and I'm all pretty, rather than when I wake up and things are all over the place. Then I'm separate. But that is the whole place of peace, is when we can connect with that place within that is one with that one, that wisdom, that infinite wisdom that is always with us. Does anybody here like me forget that I have that infinite wisdom inside? Yeah, a few, right? Those negative thoughts. So what do we do to unclutter those thoughts? We take time to meditate. We take time to, I think for me, I am a verbal processor, so I need to talk to good friends who help me see the truth of myself. I talk to my practitioner. I talk to a mentor. I have, I not that I'm making myself into this wrong or anything, but I need help, people, some days. I need to call in the troops and say, you got to help me get through this because I'm struggling. I'm challenging. I'm having a challenge, and how do I move through it? And then I brought into that thought of, what does peace actually mean to me? So if you were to take a minute or a second here and just think, what does peace mean to you? Just bring that vision in. And notice in your body where it lives. Yeah, right there, eh? Right in your heart. Good. Now, did it take you very long to access that? No. And some of you, it may take a little longer, and that is okay too, right? I'm repeating myself, but we're on this journey, and we're here. So it's when I feel that exquisite peace, that feeling when I'm calm and connected, when I know that life is, I'm in that again, going back to that analogy of the athlete, when I'm in the flow of life, that river that keeps going, and there's the big stone in the middle of the river. What does the river do? It just goes around it. And when I can stay calm and peaceful, even last weekend, I had 11 lovely human beings in my home, and we did a retreat. And there's a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces. And, getting food ready, making sure everybody, I like to be a hostess with the mostest, so I want to make sure everybody's comfortable and they've got what they need. But it took a lot of preparation on my part, a lot of meditation, a lot of prayer to stay calm throughout, because it could have been easy to go, this isn't going right, that isn't going right. And the place I practiced being calm, oh boy, my poor husband, as I'm saying this, is when we're driving. Because he has a different driving style than I do. And, sometimes he just doesn't appreciate my helpfulness. He's like, really, Tamara? Yes. But it's that place. Or am I speaking my words? Am I speaking them to speak them? Or am I really being helpful? And this is a question I've been asking myself this week. When I'm talking, am I talking to fill the space? Or am I talking to be kind, to be generous, and to truly be helpful? Now, I know I'm up here talking, so hopefully this is being helpful. But we're getting back to the peace, and I know for myself, I grew up in not a very peaceful environment. I had quite a bit of trauma before I was 2 years old, in the fact that I was dropped in a river, almost drowned. I was kidnapped, and my house burnt down, and I witnessed my biological father abusing my mother. That's all before 2. So that lives in here, maybe here, sometimes, or all the time. So it's that work of moving through that. And I don't tell you this to make you feel bad about me or what the situation, because you know what? All those things made me who I am today. And if I didn't experience maybe one of them, I may not be on the path that I'm on. I may not be here in front of all of you, have been called into this teaching, into this work, and finding out what is life, what is my purpose here, what am I wanting to express. So a story came to mind about, there was a king, and he put out to his community that he wanted to find the most beautiful painting of peace. And so he put out a challenge to all the artists in the land. So many tried to bring back this feeling of peace, this visual of what is peace to him. So he looked at all the paintings, and he came down. There was 2 that he ended up really, really liking. And there was one, you've probably seen a picture like this, where it's a lake with the mountains, the majestic mountains standing in the background, with the blue sky, with the light blue fluffy clouds coming through. And there was this stillness and the reflection of the scenery in the water. And he's looking at it, and you could just look at it, and he felt the peace. But then the other one that he picked, they was looking at, they had to make the decision between the 2, was this one where the cloud was stormy, there was lightning, there was rain, there was a huge waterfall that the water was cascading down, and the jagged rocks. But he looked closely, and in the rocks, there was a little nest. And in that nest was a mama bird with her little baby birds. And she was just calm and peaceful. So which one do you think he chose? Yeah, he chose that second one. Because really, that is what our life is about. There's chaos, what we term maybe, judge as chaos going on in our life. Those things that I just told you about, I term and judge as negative and bad, and yet there's always that gift. There's that gift that comes in and through our heart and our being, and it shows up in different ways that we could never imagine. So he did pick that one that was that little bit more turbulent, because he saw in the turbulence there was the beauty and the calm and the peace. And it made me think of a tornado, right? Those negative thoughts that we have going around in our brain, and actually the physical tornado. But in the center of the tornado, the eye of the storm, it's still. It's still and peaceful. And that's where we want to go through. We want to get into that eye of the storm and have that sense of calmness and clarity to move through our challenges and leave behind maybe that depression and judgments of the past. I know I've gone to talk therapy, I've gone to coaches, trying to make my past better. Well, it necessarily hasn't worked yet. But what I've done is I've come to terms with it. I've done a lot of prayer and meditation and journaling and contemplation about what it is that I want, because every day I'm at choice. Every day I can choose to forgive. Every day I can choose to be in community like this that reminds me of who I really am. That one with the one, and embrace all the differences. Right? That's the thing with diversity. It's so lovely because that's the one thing we all have in common. Well, there's lots of things we have in common, but one of the things is our differences. We all are that little bit different, which is fabulous. Could you imagine if we're all the same walking around? No, that would not live that full, rich life that we want to live, I think, personally. So until we awake to the fact that we are one in nature with God, we shall not find the way of life. That's Ernest Holmes. Until we awake to the fact that we are all one in nature with God, we shall not find the way of life. So today, what can we shift in our own lives? Last week, we had Reverend Michelle offered us some homework. And that homework was to go for 30 days without giving ourselves compassion, not saying things negatively. Have I got that right? Teresa's nodding her head. She did the post for me on social media to remind us. So that is the thing. So how are we doing with that? And I know some of you are just hearing this the first time, but how can we keep moving through and let go of those negative thoughts, those decluttering? And there is mindfulness. There's so many things on the internet. Let me tell you, I've been researching this morning, and you can find a bazillion things on mindfulness, meditation, things that can help us to move through the day. And I know I've shown you this before, and Reverend Champion taught us this one in a class, and it's one I like to use sometimes is when I'm really stressed and really feeling, is called the butterfly movement. And it's when you hook your two thumbs together and you place your hands, your palm is like in your heart space, and you just slowly lift up one and put it back down, and then slowly lift up the other and back down. And you just can do that. And what that does, believe it or not, is regulate your nervous system. Regulate your nervous system, because it gets your brain in line to work through to help calm. And I was fortunate enough, I do this actually all the time, and I'm in meetings, I do it with my feet, I'll do it with my hands, I'll do all different variations of it. But I was driving once, in my fashion, and I was just doing it on the steering wheel, just because I was going into a meeting and I wanted to stay present and I wanted to stay calm. And you know what happened? The car in front of me suddenly slammed on its brakes and went sideways. And out of nowhere, I did some kind of maneuver that I avoided the whole thing. And I pulled over, and I was shaking, and there was another fellow behind me. He pulled over to check on me and said, "Have you taken driver training, Ed?" Like, how did you do that? And I said, "I don't know. But I do know. I do know, because I was in that place of calm. I was in that place of being present. I was not in the past. I was not in the future. I was right there, right now, in that moment. And my body responded and did the move that it needed to do. So it's being present. That's another way we can declutter our mind. If we stay in that moment and stop hoping for that wonderful past, and maybe you did have a wonderful past, and that's okay. That's great, right? That's fabulous. And it's also to stop living life when? Well, when I make more money, when I meet the right partner, when the grass is greener, then I'll live my dreams. But today is the day. Today is the day to live our life fully and expressively. To be peaceful. To be the peace we want to see in the world. Right? I know that's not mine. It's the Dalai Lama. I could be wrong on that one. I'm not sure. It is? Okay, good. But it's staying in that place of calmness and love, even amongst the turbulence. So finding those things that help you, finding to regulate your nervous system, doing your meditation, joining in a spiritual community. Like, how do most of you feel? This is a loaded question. How do you feel when you leave on a Sunday? Right? Yay! But that's because we're here together. We're in that energy. We're in that energy of that one mind, of that one place, that energy of the earth, of the planet. So we're going to declutter our mind. We're going to stay present and aware and conscious of our thoughts. We're going to move in this life and speak in terms that are kind and generous and compassionate to others. Because when we do that, we start to make a ripple, people. There's a lot going on in this world. You know, there was just, again, in the United States, the shooting down in Georgia by a 14-year-old boy. Sad. There's the U.S. politics. There's our politics. There's the war still in Ukraine. There's there's lots going on. So the thing, I know I can't maybe affect all those things out in the world, but what I can affect is my little corner of it. Right? I can start doing my own practices, my own work as an individual, because I know as an individual, I affect the whole. I move through this world in a way that I take responsibility for my actions, and I take responsibility for what comes out of my mouth to others, and make sure that I'm in integrity. Integrity is a huge, huge thing for me. This is a little side note, but there's a great book that I want to do a book study on, is The Way of Integrity by Martha Beck. So watch that. It's going to be coming out soon. And she talks about that as in integrity as a way of life. And when we're in integrity is when we remember who we are, and that we are one with the one, and that we can feel the peace, be the peace, and express the peace. So if you're willing to play with me, I'm going to get Theda to help us feel a little something here, because as my talk will come back to my talk title, just give me one sec here, Theda, as I get my notes on this. Yep, good. I'll keep chatting as we go through. Whoops. But it is the Om Shanti Om meditation. And so what they say about that is the word Om is defined by the Hindu scriptures as being the original vibration of the universe. And by chanting Om, the mind becomes aligned with the breath, which enables a person to get into that elevated state of consciousness. The activity of that gets our mind under control, which enables a person to have a one-pointed focus towards a spiritual realization. That is from the American Hindu Foundation. So we're going to chant Om 3 times by yourself right now. And then I'm going to invite Theda to lead us in a chant. And just notice in your body, notice the energy in the room. Feel all the feels that this brings about. So I invite you just to get in the moment. Just take a breath, and just in your mind, just start with your own Om. And it starts with an and then it goes Om, and then switches into an O sound. So Om. And I'm going to invite Theda to lead us now. So as we take that vibration in, that love, that one mind, that universal energy. So today I know that I am one with the one, so I know each of you are one with that one. You are everyone here and online and in the world is an expression of that divine mind. And today I celebrate the diversity, the love, the joy that is in this room and in this community. I know that peace is always with us. Peace is the heart of all things. Peace is in my heart. So as I am one with the one and each of you are one, I know then that peace is in your heart. I know that truth. So I let these words flow into that law of mind that is always working, that is always reflecting back to us. So I let it be, I let it go, and ask you to join me in saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
And I welcome back Theda for another song. Yay.
transforming pain, finding the grace in our suffering, and reminding ourselves that each of us is blessed and loved beyond all measure, and all is forgiven on this path that we are living here in this life. Oh, this human experience, co-creating as we go. Thank you for this glory. Thank you for this gift of life. Oh, reminding me to choose gratitude each and every moment, but feeling through, riding the waves of emotion as they come and go, letting the ocean of life purify my soul. Let me know, let me rest in the knowing of the truth, that we are loved beyond measure, beyond this body and this time. We are eternal. We are eternal. Let me be guided in this life by the spiritual wisdom. Let it be my guide. I am grateful for the earth. I am grateful for the sky. I am grateful for the consciousness that lets me live this life. Oh, hear my gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. May all beings be blessed, may all beings be free, may all beings be at peace.
Did I
You're
mute
on.
I'm
You're
on.
on.
I'm on. Whew. Oh, I have God bumps all over me right now.
That song was just channeled, created in the moment right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
inspired
Isn't that,
by all of us here and this beautiful, beautiful work we're doing in your talk and on your beautiful hearts. So
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Are you going to be in town for a little bit in this next little while, or do you have any events coming up?
That's a good question.
is
I'll
a
be
good
at Wisteria Acres on Sunday, October 6th. I lead a sound healing journey, and some of our people go. So it's in the morning, but it kind of conflicts with this time, actually.
Oh, wow.
But I will be having probably some others in coming up, and I'll be in Kelowna next week.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, I do the Summerhill Pyramid there for the equinox, which is a
that
beautiful
would
meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do have some gifts here if you're interested. And you can also receive a beautiful music bliss meditation download from me if you like by going to livingsoundtemple.com. And I have a business card there, some info.
Perfect.
So
Thank you. Oh, I'm so grateful. I love having you. I know. Yeah, I know. Thank you. You're so incredible. A very talented woman that we have. We have many, many talented people in our midst. So we're so fortunate and grateful to have everyone here. So that leaves us to this point of our day where we express our gratitude. We express our gratitude for this community, for the musicians, for, whoops, are you okay? You're still on. You're fine. I know there's all sorts of things. So it's that time as we are a not-for-profit, and this is a time that we ask or if you had some value from today, that you participate in that law of circulation, in the give and the take, the engagement with this community, and to be able to keep us continuing on with these beautiful Sundays and to have fabulous musicians and to be together in this place. We're so fortunate to have found Brella to help us keep moving forward. So if you're willing, I ask you to place your hand on your heart. And with that, know peace for yourself. And know peace for this center. And let's know peace for the greater community. Let us know peace for the world. So I ask you to join me in our prosperity affirmation. And you repeat after me. I live in the universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in that divine flow. And all that I give returns to me multiplied abundantly. I am so blessed. Oh, come on, people, say it with feeling. I am so blessed. And so it is. And so I'll ask the ushers to come and pass our baskets. And please, in our baskets, we have little joy notes. So please take one, a little word of affirmation for yourself, because we too like to participate in the law of circulation.
Thank you. I am so blessed. I am abundant. I am so blessed as I give. So it is, affirming my abundance and my prosperity, and I give thanks. With this gift I affirm I am prosperous, and may my contribution be returned in service to the greater good, to the highest good it can be. I am grateful, I am grateful and free.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And please know if giving today is not the right time or the right place or anything like that, we do have options. We accept e-transfers, we accept handwritten checks, believe it or not. We still get some of those. And or you can donate online through our website and use your debit card. So I'll bring up Jill. I guess we don't have any other practitioners with us today, but could I invite a fellow colleague to come and join us for the blessing of these wonderful gifts? Yay! Thank you, Reverend Karen. This is everybody. Reverend Karen Wilmer, dear, dear friend of mine, and minister here in Vancouver. So I just so appreciate each and every one of you today here in this moment of gratitude, of grace, of love, knowing that we are all participating in that law of circulation. So today I bless these gifts, knowing that they do good in this world and out into the greater community. I'm so thankful for this time together, for this community, and for the love that is right here, right now. It's palpable. I love it. I let it go. And I ask you to join me in saying, and so it is.
So it is.
Thank you. It's good to have this consciousness up. Yes, blessings, knowing it's all good. Thank you. And know that Jill, are you available for a prayer session after? Absolutely, she says. It is her absolute delight. Yeah, to Nancy. And then if you are feeling in need of a prayer or would like to experience it, we do have an online prayer support. It's on our website. You can go under prayer support and submit a prayer, and one of our beautiful practitioners will send a prayer back for you. Sometimes it takes a day because people get life in the way, but just know that as soon as we see it, it automatically goes into our prayer circle, and then we just get back to you as soon as we can. So with that, I guess ends this portion of the day, because we still have potluck, and I hope that everybody's willing to stay and listen to our wonderful Linda Kidder afterwards. So if you're willing and can and able, please stand for our last affirmation and our closing song. So if you want to say with me, something wonderful is happening in me right now. It's this thing called life. It's this thing called love. It's this thing called audacity. That's wrong. But let's go with peace, people. It's this thing called peace. I know it. I feel it. I express it. And I am it. And so it is.
And on that note, we can sing together. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Deep down in my heart, deep down in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine. Deep down in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine. Deep down in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Woo! Well, thank you, everyone. Enjoy our potluck. Yes, let's our people online. You get to see everybody here. You say hello and thank you. And there's Catherine. We can see her now. Her picture's on the screen. Yay, Catherine, our newest practitioner. So thank you, everyone, and look forward to breaking some bread with you now and enjoying some music this afternoon. Thanks, everyone. Have a great, fabulous day. Oh, we don't need to put the chairs away today because we're going to keep them all out. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
say it. I have to say that. I learned to use it. I loved it. I loved it. It was very good. I know. Reverend Michelle and I were reading it because we were talking about Joseph, and then all of a sudden we open up the magazine and there's Karen talking about Joseph. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so weird. It's so good. Oh, look, you got your peace name on.
How crazy is that?
Oh my
Spirit,
gosh.
right?
Very crazy.
You rocked it. That was so powerful. Totally. Like I just had a feeling, I don't know if you're sensing this, but I'm wondering if it's after like last weekend. It's like there is a strength and a conviction coming through you. I'm getting chills. It's like the light is just pouring through you. Beautiful.
Where did that come from? You got it? Oh, so we don't need to put much away, right?
Most of it away. Most of it away. Not doing the camera.
No, the camera.
Only one microphone. I just wanted to say amen, sister, about 3 tonight. But I thought, no. Yell it out. Oh, I wanted to. And I just had to watch my enthusiasm.
So do we just take everything down? None of it was what was there was 4 or 5 other things today. Microphones are right there. That's what I
February.
You showed up and you keep doing it. You keep doing it. I love it.
Just turn this off.
Yeah, I guess we can turn that off, Valerie.